Welcome back to Squawk Box. New this morning, a powerful message. Hundreds of companies and executives from around the country signing on to a new statement opposing discriminatory legislation that would make it harder for people to vote. The new signatories include some of the largest companies in America: Amazon, BlackRock, Google, Warren Buffett signing that letter personally, General Motors. The list goes on and on and on. The new statement was organized in recent days by former American Express CEO Ken Chenault, who helped organize a letter opposing such legislation signed by dozens of black executives last month. He came on our air with Ken Frazier, who also helped organize the statement. The statement, we should say, does not address specific legislation in states, but among the notable companies who declined to sign the statement, and this is where things get interesting, Coca-Cola and Delta, which had both spoken out against the Georgia voting law, but decided not to, in part because of the remarkable blowback that they received after this. Mitch McConnell has come out quite publicly against companies on this as well. J.P. Morgan was not a signer in this regard. Nike, not a signer. There's a number of companies that do business in China, for example, that were concerned about being described as, quote, hypocrites if they were to take this position here in the United States, but elsewhere. But I have to say, when you really look at this, this is not 72 black Americans, black business leaders who are coming out saying this, as they did just 2 weeks ago. This is now some of the largest companies in America that are concerned about what's happening in now 47 different states that have a number of different proposals on the table relating to voting laws, ostensibly meant to protect the vote and make the vote more secure. But in many instances, I think it's impossible to suggest that in some cases they suppress the vote for one particular party. I should say that all of these things, all of these voting proposals have been put up by the Republican Party. I know that both of the Kens and I believe all of these companies would say this is not a partisan issue. This is an issue about democracy and about making sure we don't have a corrupt democracy. And that the process unto itself is not corrupted. But it's fascinating to see so many companies decide to stand up and to speak out specifically on this issue. And they're concerned really about what they say, and I should say this, what they say is the big lie. And I don't want to make this political, but I think there's a real concern that a lot of these laws have been drawn up in part because of a view that has been espoused over and over again that the last election was somehow not secure, and that leaving that history or by creating new laws, it almost embeds that as the accurate history, which, of course, I think we know now it is not.
Right. It is interesting, though, in this culture now, corporate culture of having to take a stand on social issues, to see which companies are willing to go ahead and sign that statement and which companies did step back. They spoke out against it, but you know, you sell Coca-Colas to Democrats and Republicans. There can be blowback, as you mentioned, in terms of being viewed as a hypocrite, especially when China is pointing to the U.S. as being a hypocrite in and of itself in terms of human rights and civil rights violations. This is a very thorny line to toe for corporate America. So interesting to see who signed, who didn't, who's still speaking out. And is that going to be enough?
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.